New continent, same Joe. Or should I say Jonathan Moore? Season 4, Part 1 dropped on Netflix a few ago, and Part 2 is ready to drop on March 9th. So since Part 2 is around the corner, I thought why not have a recap on Part 1? But before we get to that, please like, share, comment, and subscribe, and let's get talking. At the beginning of season 4, we see Jonathan Moore, aka Joe, travel from the US to France in search of Marienne. Who is Marienne? That's his latest love interest, muse, stalking victim, or whatever word you want to give her. He is all about her. In fact, in order to get to Marienne, he murders his wife, Love, at the end of season 3.
Aconite, when injected directly, burns as it moves through the system to the heart.
He not only murders Love, he leaves his baby boy with another couple so that he can go on this adventure. Unfortunately for him, Marienne does not have any plans to get back with him. In fact, she is disgusted at the sight of him.
You're a murderer, Joe.
You're wrong about me. I'm gonna prove it to you.
So, after the reunion with Marienne doesn't pan out the way he envisioned, he packs up his bags once again and travels from France to London.
Laying low is imperative. Turns out teaching's fun and London's not so bad. I fell in with the most insane, damaged people on Earth.
Joe must be a very lucky guy because no matter where he goes, he becomes associated with the rich, the famous, and the powerful. But the issue here is that this association is not always a good one. In fact, it never is. Where there's fame and money, there's also death. While Joe might have wanted to play the loner professor, he just can't help himself. He finds himself in the middle of a mugging and he has to go and save this girl. Who is this girl? She is Kate, played by Charlotte Ritchie. So I don't know about you guys, but for me, season 4 is like a mixture between two board games, Clue and Suspicion. The romance and friends-free life Joe was trying to lead is derailed when he meets Kate, and through her, he becomes associated with her group of friends. This group of friends is elitist, they're snobbish, they don't really like each other, but they put on a fake face. The dislike is shown in these personal grudges they hold against each other. Now, the issue here is that these grudges take on a toll, and the price they pay is murder. Not just one murder, we're talking 3 deaths in the same friend circle. So while Joe is not the one who commits the first murder, Joe being Joe, he has to commit a murder because he's trying to stay afloat. He's trying to figure out who done it. Yes, season 4 is a whodunit take on you because whereas season 1, 2, and 3 followed Joe's trajectory through his marriage, through his relationships, and trying to stay afloat in them, season 4 takes a turn. And in this season, Joe is not the only one doing the stalking. There's a person out there who's trying to frame Joe for murder. And Joe's goal here is to figure out who that person is and how to stop that person from finding out his full truth. Agatha Christie was a renowned murder mystery novelist, and Joe wants to think along her lines and figure out who is doing what, who is the prime suspect, will there be a potential second killing, or is it one and done? By the end of season 4, part 1, Joe has his new love interest, or should I say lust interest. He has also figured out who exactly has framed him, not because of anything Joe does, but because that individual wants him to know who he is. He is none other than Reese Montrose, played by Ed Spielers, and he is running for the mayor of London. Like its previous season, season 4 also has the telltale signs of a classic used season. Beautiful people, beautiful locations, commentary on the social differences in the strata of the rich and the poor, and also Joe's inner dialogue. It's verbose, it's witty, it's sarcastic, and these are all things I'm a huge fan of. And of course, we have Penn Badgley's charismatic portrayal of Joe. I'm sure there's people out there who feel that season 4 is gonna be the same as season 1, 2, and 3. How much more can we take of a singular character going through city from city and murdering and getting away with it? I personally think the change in continents, the change in scenery was a great thing. I also think that the role reversal that Joe experiences this season is interesting. Usually he's the cat in this cat and mouse ploy, but this season he is the mouse. He is the prey and someone is out there hunting him. So while this angle is different, the show in its essence remains the same. And why is it that despite being a serial killer, the audience is left hoping that Joe figures out who is framing him? And Joe also figures out how to outwit his predator. Look, on paper, Joe is not that much of a likable guy. Not only is a murderer, he's also a stalker. He's obsessive, he's neurotic, he's a loner, but he has intelligence and he's able to switch on the charm when interacting with people. Once again, I just want to highlight that it leaves you at odds. Do you want the serial killer to get caught? Do you finally want the serial killer to get its due? Or do you want him to somehow make it to another city, another life, take on another name, and start afresh? You was never supposed to be a hard-hitting series. There's really no life lessons to be had from this series, unless, of course, you needed reminding that committing a murder is not okay. Committing multiple murders is definitely not okay. And also to stay away from stalkers. You is completely a binge-worthy series. I saw season 4, part 1 in one go. I had my bag of popcorn, I had my drink in hand, and I just sat and watched. Part 1 ends at a cliffhanger. Joe finds out who is framing him, and now what's left is to see what happens after this identity is uncovered. Part 2's trailer has dropped, and in that trailer, you get to see this cat and mouse play between Reese and Joe. Joe is there asking, is this over? I know who you are. Can we stop playing this game? And Reese is like, what are you talking about? We just started. I always wanted a friend like...
Psycho.
A friend? Of course. Why wouldn't you want to be with a like-minded individual? And for Reese, Joe is just like him, interested with murder and interested with committing murder. Joe, on the other hand, thinks none of that. He does not think he's a deranged psychopath. For him, each murder he commits is to save himself and to free himself from the bitter reality he's a part of. He's not committing murders for a laugh. He's not committing murders just to have fun. And that's exactly what Reese apparently is doing. So, how does Joe free himself of Reese? Does Reese get the better of Joe? Is this going to be Joe's undoing? Or does Joe figure out a way to get out of this web Reese is spinning? Oh, and what happens with Kate? Kate, who is moody, who despises the background she comes from, is seen walking alongside Joe and trying to figure out what is this equation that is between them. If you're anything like me, you're probably sitting there waiting for March 9th to get here because we finally get to see what is going to happen. Until then, let me know what you think in the comment section down below. Are you excited to see what happens to Joe in the rest of season 4? Do you like this role reversal that's happened in part 1? And also, do you think Reese and Joe are alike? That's it for me today. Please like, share, comment, and subscribe to the channel.